Without further ado, please welcome Julie Separito Acuna, the chair of the New Jersey Green Party.
Okay, now it's at my level. I'm going to do a quick shout out to our lead organizer, Veronica Granite. She's creeping up on the stage right here. All right, we're here today because we're conscious of the environmental devastation that New Jersey faces. Children in our cities suffer from asthma resulting from carbon emissions of nearby factories and malnutrition from living in food deserts. In New Jersey, just like the rest of the country, it is our low-income communities that are largely of color where the impacts of climate change and environmental disruption are felt the hardest. New Jersey children in 11 different cities have to drink water poisoned with lead, and marginalized communities continue to face the threat of oil and gas pipelines being built in their backyards. Basically, whenever there is a question of who has to live next to the dirty energy infrastructure or who has to suffer the effects of climate disruption, the answer is always a marginalized community. And frequently, that community is a lower income community of color. These issues should be no-brainers, but we have to take to the streets to get our point across. Why isn't something as obvious as protecting our air, soil, and water one of the highest priorities of our elected representatives? Because environmental degradation is just one more symptom of the underlying diseased system of greed. We need to identify, fight, and abolish this system that puts profit ahead of our planet, of our well-being, of our lives. But when we fight back and demand our elected officials to stand up for us, we realize how deeply rigged this system is. Instead of paying living wages and providing health care for workers, those same companies siphon all the money to the top 1% and use those billions of dollars to buy candidates that will do their bidding. And man, are they getting their money worth. Through their joint policies of tax cuts for the rich, raising costs on working people, and divesting from social programs and infrastructure, we are seeing staggering levels of inequality, which is the opposite direction the so-called wealthiest nation should be going in. This has got to stop. People who work and live in these communities should be making the decisions about the type of world they want to live in. But this disease system places those decisions in the hands of economic elites. Well, we are the 99%. It's on us to organize, act, and demand a future for ourselves. A future where we can breathe clean air, have economic equality and stability, and live in safety wherever we might want to live. But it's not enough to demand. We need to build our future. We can start by ousting all the career incumbent politicians and replacing them with true public servants who will put people before planet. People and planet before profit. Excuse me. And it won't happen inside the two corporate parties. Years of trying to figure out which is the lesser evil has gotten us nowhere. It's 2016 and we're still fighting for solar and wind energy. We're still fighting against new pipelines. We still have black and brown people like Diallo Grant and Jerome Reed being murdered by cop with no accountability. It's 2016 and black and brown people are 12 times more likely to serve as fuel for the prison industrial complex.
That ain't right. Hey.
These problems are absurd, and yet they still run rampant. If we're going to build a better future, we'll need organizations and parties that truly stand for the 99%. And along the way, we'll need to tear down those barriers that the elites have built to prevent people from having the power that's rightfully ours. have to take money out of politics. We have to abolish an election system where a candidate can win an election when more people voted for someone else. Today we took a step in that direction. This event was sponsored by 3 leftist political parties of New Jersey: the Green Party, the Socialist Party, and Socialist Alternative. And as we move forward, we're interested in finding more ways to collaborate towards a common goal. Our 3 parties all agree on who the corporate parties truly answer to. And it ain't us. If we want to be represented in the halls of power, then we need to put our people in the halls of power. So we hope you will join us in our vision, because we need candidates who will fight for the 99%, who will advocate for economic equality, Medicare for all, decarceration, and nonviolence. Together, we have the power and the capacity to make it happen. Thanks.